Axel Brown and Shaquille John, his replacement teammate after Andre Marcano had a problem, which meant he couldn't continue. The Trinis finishing strong in their runs in the two-man bob at the Winter Games in Beijing. And I'm going to talk to Anil Roberts, the man over there in Trinidad and Tobago, about what he was most impressed by where the performance of his countrymen is concerned. Anil, the TNT flag flown high, the country represented. Were you satisfied with what your ambassadors did on this stage?
Absolutely impressed. They did better than I would have expected. I love the consistency. With Andre Marcano, 1 minute .81 and 1 minute .89. Then Shaquille John came in, and there was no difference, 1 minute .86. Great driving from Axel Brown, improving, not hitting the walls as much as the size of the course, sticking in the middle and really flying the flag proudly. We look good, they did good, they were consistent. Now, some of our viewers may not have heard the commentary, but I'll just remind them that some of these commentators from the so-called first world do not understand. A commentator made the comment that Axel Brown, being from Britain, he was a white man and he thought he would not have been loved in Trinidad and Tobago, and he was surprisingly loved by everyone. They have to understand Trinidad and Tobago, we have every race, every ethnicity, every group, every religion. We have white people, Indian people, black people, Doka people, mixed up every type of religion. So these commentators better read a book before they talk on people's country. I thought it was very poor taste. It was an ignorant comment, and I take umbrage to it.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing that I myself find troubling about commentary of events like these. People don't take the time to do the proper research. Audra, how did, from your perspective, the Trinidadian pair do in that final run?
I am proud of them. I was hoping that they hold the 27th spot or move up one spot, but they didn't. But however, I saw where Axel was consistent in his driving. I saw where he was trying to clean up some spots and put it down on the third run. I'm happy that they made the switch for the brake person. He got that exposure, that experience, and that will motivate him onwards.
Yes.
I'm excited to see where Trinidad team will be in the next 4 years.
Yes.
So I'm happy with what I saw. And I'm proud of Trinidad.
Yeah. Anil, and it's on that point about legacy and what this performance here will do for the future. Are you convinced that there is enough optimism around the bobsled program in Trinidad and Tobago that this performance at the Olympics by the two-man bob would have represented something substantial enough for the Olympic Committee to be able to shop around to potential sponsors? In other words, has what happened with the bobsled team and the bobsled unit at the Olympics for Trinidad and Tobago ensured that a program can get adequate funding to take a next team to the next major championship?
Well, yes, you brought it great. At first you said a program. We don't have a program. But then in the end you said that now we hopefully can get some sponsorship to start a program. Not only that, I think the government of Trinidad and Tobago can get behind these guys now because they have gone there. They went under trying circumstances, not being on the track before. They show consistency. They're in the battle. They're about a second away from being top 12, and they really just proud. Oh, they have 4 years to go. It takes investment to get great performances. You don't get medals in the Olympics by just joining to go for fun and make a pappy show. We did a great job. We've shown that we can achieve, and now the government and private sector must invest, get about 12 athletes, and let them start training for quadrennial, and then closer to the end, you choose your team on qualification, probably get 2 sleds going for the next 4 years. But it takes investment, it takes science, it takes thought and belief. These guys have inspired a generation. I'm proud of them.
Yeah, Audra, where the Jamaicans are concerned, I met a viewer earlier today who lamented the fact that the pair of Turgot and Stevens finished 30th of 30. I took some satisfaction from the comment in that I said, well, at least you're watching.
Yes.
There you go, yeah? But what did you make of the performance of the pair?
Oh, unfortunate. I was hoping, even though they've been at 38 from the start, I was hoping for better times. That didn't happen. I also heard that they had some misfortune because of Shanwayne's size, they had to have weight in the front.
Yes.
I heard the weight burst.
Oh.
And it was giving them some trouble. So if he went right, the sled would try to drift to left.
Yes.
So unfortunately that happened. They have to deal with it. Things happen. But however, I'm happy for them both. They missed out on a spot the 4 years ago, so they're here now. They represent real well, the best of their ability. I wish the driving was better, but the misfortune happened, so I won't be too hard on them for that. Looking forward now to the 4-man, which. In my opinion, Shanwayne is a better 4-man driver.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the speed, now with 4 men, it's easier for him to maneuver the sled.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking forward to see what they will bring to the table. 2-man is behind us. They represent. They put us out there because we didn't have a male sled the last 4 years. So I'm proud of them.
Question for Audra.
Yes, sir. Yes, Counsel. Proceed.
I noticed just recently while we were watching there and we had a technical difficulty. Audra, I see there is a split now, a cut in the bobsled.
Yes.
That gives some cushioning and so on.
Yes.
If I remember back 30 years ago, there was no cut that allowed for that cushioning. When did that design change occur?
I don't remember when that design changed, but I know of the cut that is in the sled. It helped the sled to move better because it was more rigid back then and it was harder on the body. So with the, what do we call it, the axle now on the front, it's better for the driver also. So in case of a crash, you wouldn't get stuck in the sled. But I can't recall when it changed, but I know what you're talking about.
All right. Adil, in the same breath, can you comment on the gold medalists, the Germans who've dominated? Well, they've won so many medals, especially gold, down that track, and they came up trumps again in this event.
Well, they really came up trumps because the way I saw it, they got gold, silver, bronze, and they did incredibly well, and they show German precision. So this could be an advertisement for BMW. They could call up SportsMax and pay for some ads because German precision coming down there, it was remarkable. The consistency, the speed, the fitness, the skill, the touch of the German drivers is immaculate. People have to understand it's not easy to drive this bit of machinery. It's as if you were driving a car without power steering, and then you jump into a BMW or a fancy car with very light power steering. And if you touch that steering wheel too much, you can oversteer and spin out. The Germans are tremendous. They have invested. They have the coaches. They have the nutritionists. They have the technical know-how, and they deserve the gold medal.
Yeah, Audra, last thing on this. I know that we have an interest in the 4-man bob coming up, but I have to ask, do you think we are closer to the point, the Caribbean teams, Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica especially, where our bobsled team, whether male or female, at a major championship, there's no longer any novelty around it, but we are seen as contenders for top 10, top 15 places and even better?
Yes. Once you say Jamaica, whether or not we have winter or not,
yes,
they're looking for us to be amongst the top.
To be
team.
competitive.
Yes.
Yes.
They are looking for you to show up regardless. I don't know. I think it was the second run. You start hearing crowd, and
yes,
the commentator was saying, these are athletes
yes,
that are cheering for the Jamaicans.
Yes.
Normally you don't see that.
Yes.
Normally you don't see those things like for other teams,
yes,
I should say. But once you have Jamaica, like, I don't know, flavor, I present,
yes,
maybe, but I'm hoping and I pray I live to see the day that Jamaica move back in the top 10 positions.
There
Yes.
you go. All right, we take the break. When we come back, we talk about some other big performances on another day of riveting action at the Beijing Winter Games in China. Su Yiming, 17 years old, aspiring actor. What did he do in the snowboard event? The fans out in force. China, of course, you would have heard before these games, admitting vaccinated fans, strict conditions, and giving their young whippersnappers the atmosphere to really produce their best. And this run was enough. Good enough, better than everything else seen by the judges. And it was the gold medal winning run confirmed on this routine, this performance, and lapping in the adulation from the crowd, hitting the wall. But that was purely intentional. The Chinese happy once again, another gold medal for the hosts of these games. Back with us on Winter Prime, the evening edition. Sometimes I call it Beijing Prime. Why not? The games are in Beijing, China. Chris Taylor, this 17-year-old, a bit special in quite a few fields, but doing it in what appears to be, for this segment of his career, his life at least, in the bread and butter event of snowboarding, competing at the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, top performance yet again. Just 17 years of age, as you said. Childhood superstar in terms of acting, and has been acting since the age of 9. And you'd have to say those tricks, probably something he might have done on film as well. One of the events that are ranked as the most dangerous in the Winter Olympics, just in terms of what is required. And to see him do this, I've been really impressed, as I said yesterday as well, George. Just in terms of China's performance, 2018, only 9 medals, 1 gold. So far, they sit 6th on the table. They have 6 gold medals, this being their 6th. Really impressive. The Chinese, as I said, performing in front of their fans, on home soil, rising to the occasion, and a 17-year-old to top it all off.
Yeah, and if there was one country to not poop their own party, if there was one country that would perhaps overachieve when they were hosting something, it would have been the Chinese. And this 17-year-old giving more impetus and more oomph to an effort to really dominate these games. The Chinese are well on their way to having their most successful Winter Olympic Games in a long time.
It's when a good plan comes together. A culture of discipline, technical supremacy, desire, mental ability, physiological ability, and passion for their flag, patriotism, and they know that if they spend money and the world is watching, they're going to perform. Now, as a coach, I'm very jealous for this Winter Olympics. At some of these events, the snowboarding races, to see coaches standing there right up to the last moment of a performance is unbelievable for an Olympic swimming coach, because we have to give our athletes up 25 minutes before the final. They go down to a ready room to get ready, they have to check in, and we as coaches don't have any input. We get nervous, your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure goes up, there is nothing else that you can do. But these Winter Olympic coaches, they are there giving elbows and little advice right up till the athlete goes. It is unbelievable. As a coach, I'm very jealous.
Yeah, the tennis coaches used to have a kind of luxury that most other coaches never had as well. You can be jealous all you want, and then, Robert, we have to take a break here on Winter Prime, the evening edition. Back with our last segment after these.
visual says 0.65 of a second. It's Takagi Miho, twice a silver medalist so far in the 500 and the 1500. She gets the bell lap and the margins trimmed back 0.39 of a second. Canada coming back. They're on a world record split. Will it be Canada? Will it be Japan? Japan, the defending champions, have a slender margin. Takagi Miho. Oh, there's a folder. They've gone down.
Takagi Nana is down.
So it's Canada's gold medal. Can you believe it? What happened in Salt Lake City has happened in Beijing. Takagi Miho has gone down. She skates over the line.
Anil Roberts, if anybody doesn't understand the concept of pressure bursting pipes, all you need to do is just show them this film, and I'm sure they'll understand.
They will, and this sport is so amazing. The teamwork, the technical ability, but through your peripheral vision, you can see they saw the pressure. The Canadians were coming back. They cut the deficit half with laps to go, and the pressure, as you said, bust pipe. And the third girl, she lost concentration. She tried to pull it back, but with a thin skate on slippery ice, there was no coming back. But the Canadians came strong. They put the mental pressure on, and they took the gold medal. What an exciting event.
Yeah, the Japanese saw something appearing rather fast in the rearview mirror, Chris. And for a moment, her mind went off the task at hand, thinking about the Canadians hunting them down. And look at her, inconsolable. You have to feel for her, but such is the nature of competitive sport.
Very unfortunate for the Japanese, the defending champions. I like to look at this event. I call it synchronized skiing. Skating, just in terms of how the need for everybody to be in sync at the same time. Of course, the time is based on the third skater in each team, and yeah, very unfortunate that she would have crashed in. As I said, the defending champs not able to retain their title, and the first gold medal in this event for Canada. An amazing time for them as well, and a bit anticlimactic.
Yeah, let's talk quickly about the Norwegians before we go, because they won the men's event, the men's speed skating team pursuit, and the Norwegians, we said it at the start of this program, that theirs is a very small population, but their impact on the Winter Olympics, every cycle, huge, and another gold medal in their bucket.
Yeah, dominant in the Olympics once again. They lead the medal table. It's so funny, we haven't spoken about a lot of Norwegians in this Olympics so far, but they're doing their work. They're being seen, as I said, way ahead, at some 8 medals ahead of any other team in the Olympics. So this Norwegian team regaining the title that they won in 2018, and that's a class above the rest.
Yeah, and it's a case of the Germans, of course, known and famous for their precision, and they've won some of the glamour events at the Winter Olympics, which is why we've had cause to talk about Germany. But the Norwegians, as Chris has said, has been picking up gongs here and there, and they are at the top of the table for a good reason.
For a very good reason, and it's culture, it's geography, it's climate, it's poaching, it's history, it's ancestry, it's genetics, the understanding of what needs to be done in order to be the best in the world and to maintain. Now, they won this gold medal beating the Russian team by some 2.5 seconds. For putting that in perspective, it's like, it's a huge victory. It doesn't happen like that very often. Look at the gap. It's a blowout. And that's the silver medal team there. So this Norwegian team, they're in sync down to how they set up. They try to put the biggest guy in front, the widest guy, so that he acts as a windbreak. And the other two can sort of drag, conserve energy, and then take over and move quick to the third person finishing. But Norway, my goodness, that is something to admire.
Anil disintegrating at the very last. It's the right time for his audio to misbehave. I hope you're hearing us, Anil. We're out of time. We're out of here. This show is at an end, but of course the Winter Olympics continue right here on SportsMax and our platform or family of channels. Good evening.